Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 4th of October, and it's non-farm payrolls day, that day of the week that we've all been looking so much for. And well, it's finally here, and it's been pretty sort of slack news for the US leading into it. Yesterday's services data came in a bit disappointing, just 52.6 versus 55. Now I didn't realise that 85% of the economy is based on services, so that's quite a drop off for the US there. So let's have a look forward to today. Well, retail sales has already come out in the Australia, and as we've got at one of our members over in the UK here, it's no surprise it's dropped by 0.1 to 0.4, missing estimate. Aside of that, we've got a couple of Reserve Bank of Australia. Oh no, they've all spoken. I was just checking, all spoken. So we're just left with non-farm payrolls then for the US only. So that's nice. We've got Canadian data next Friday, just to look forward to, and we have got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 7 o'clock this evening, which I'm sure that not many of you will be around for, due to deliver the opening remarks at a Fed Listens event. That would be interesting. Anyway, he may move the market at 7 o'clock on a Friday night, but who cares, because we're not going to be here. Right, so starting off, actually, why am I starting off with, let's start off with the euro dollar. And well, yesterday pushed up again. It may well push up. It had a reaction to that daily 21 eventually when it started reacting. For hourly 100, it's now looking like it wants to take the next step up, maybe pushing towards maybe the 240, 200. Now, people ask me, well, so what's going to happen on non-farm payrolls? I haven't got a clue. I don't think anyone's got a clue unless you're privy to the data a bit earlier, and I certainly am not. So what do? We probably, if we can get a move this morning, if the prices move this morning, we may get into a trade this morning. Otherwise, it's a patience game. So just wait for the data and see if we can trade post trade. Now, there's what I will say is there's this sort of softening data that's come through mostly this week. And what difference is it going to make? It's all about is it next week or the week after, when the Fed meet next time and decide interest rates, and that's where it's going to be hitting. Are they going to do a cut this month, or are they going to leave it to December, or are they going to do it next year? So that's the question. And the more poorer news comes through, the more pressure it is to cut it sooner. But the cuts are pretty much getting priced in. Maybe we'll see a reaction on the markets for sure, but just to bear in mind, some of the negativity is already being priced in. You see the way this euro's gone up this week, not particularly on great euro data, because the euro's in a right mess, but there we are. So at the moment it looks like it could pitch up. Where to? Well, euro, if it does push up in the short term here, maybe the daily R1, but it could be a slow ride this morning. Okay, cable. Of course, we've got Brexit hanging over cable, but it's still been pushing up. There's no real signs it's not at the moment. It's just not this week as much as the euro. It's consolidated for the first 3 days. Well, the fourth day it did manage to push up, but gave much of that back, and it's pushed out of this wedge that was sitting there. It's pushed out of that. Well, it's pulled back towards the lower trend line there. It may again though push up again this morning. We'll see if this starts breaking out this morning. It could be another candidate back to its highs there and the R1. A break of the lows here, on the other hand, well, it's got support below it, and these support levels of the moving averages may just slow progress down if it was going to go back to yesterday's low, towards yesterday's lows, and even at the S1. But we'll see. At the moment, it maybe looks a little bit better to the upside. All that joy priced in the market, or being priced in the market. Dollar yen. well, continued its strengthening here. Yes, we've seen the dollar index come off in the same way as the euro's going up. It's inverted, and this dollar yen is selling off here at the moment. And bearish pivot swing continuation through that. Looks like, well, it may have more downside at the moment. It's a steady old progress, and the same sort of consolidation phases we've seen in the pound and the euro. They're just inverted. So again, looking down towards that S1, if it starts breaking down, breaks the upside that 21, and it's going to have resistance coming in the form of the 34 and 50. That's the yen. Aussie dollar. Well, we've had news overnight, and it's not massively changed things at all. There's Westpac analysts sort of suggesting that it could be another cut of interest rates in December, or if not, failing that, March or March time. So yeah, that's going to make a lot of difference. Not, but at the moment it's looking like it wants to go up and properly hit that monthly pivot, which it hasn't done yet. It's high lows, high highs through the shorter time frames, and well, what's stopping it? Well, again, it just may just sit there, wait for non-farms. We may just see this sort of steadiness coming through all these markets, and it could just chop around this morning. We'll see. But to the downside, we've got the daily pivot, which wasn't hit yesterday, may come back for it today. But if it does push off, well, it's already broken yesterday's highs. It's ahead of the other markets there at the moment, and as I said, that monthly pivot could well be within range. And finally, the Canadian dollar here for the moment. I do have a special request, so I'll have a look at that as well. The special request, that being bullish engulfing 2 days ago. Yesterday, well, did very little, and well, it's not really gained the same as the other markets, which suggests to me weakness. And well, we could just see a continuation to the upside, dare I say it, towards its R1. It's in this sort of diamond shaped pattern that's sort of sitting here at the moment. I would draw it, but the pen doesn't work very well. But that diamond shaped pattern might just see the same sort of movement as the middle pushed out is the pattern, so it could be running up towards that R1. Okay, that's that. Now, I was asked about oil, so I'll pop oil on. If you have a request for me to look at the next day, just pop it on here. But oil is here. Oil, well, it has been, and as I said yesterday on the YouTube comments, has been selling off regardless what seems to be going on at the moment. If the US dollar comes off, quite often the oil comes off with it, and it's certainly doing that at the moment. There's no reason to look at any other way but any retracements looking for selling into, but lower highs, lower lows coming through this market. Maybe look, it's back into its 60-minute 50 at the moment. Maybe that will roll back towards the daily pivot and maybe down to that S1. So it does look soft at the moment. That's it for me. I wish you a great day. Bye for now.